Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us again for another video in the Direct Line Development Vlog series. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of website usability and SEO, especially in their interconnected nature. So, in the past, we've spoken a lot about the topics of user experience and search engine optimization, but today, I would like to hit on the multifaceted and interconnected relationship with one another. Now, modern trends in the development and the advancement of search engines, as well as SEO recommendations that come up from the search engines themselves, all point to the importance of the indisputable need for websites to boast high-quality user experience if it is to be successful in the realm of search engine optimization. A site with good user experience and usability is one that allows the visitors to conveniently and effortlessly navigate through the site to find what they're looking for and to experience what the site's designers intended for them to experience. So honestly, the importance of a good user experience on a website cannot be overemphasized. If you're going to look at a website from a behavioral standpoint alone, good user experience means visitors will stay on your site for longer and they will search through it on much deeper levels. Analyzing good user experience from the site's owner's point of view, we notice that the rate of accuracy for customer conversion increases, overall site conversion rates increase, and its profitability spikes upwards when having a good user experience. Even when looking at good user experience from the point of the view of the end users, we see that the site is perceived as more trustworthy, increasing total loyalty to the website and increasing the amount of times that a visitor in particular is likely to return to the site. And it almost goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, that if your website allows for quick and accurate search for particular goods or services on the page itself, you will better increase your chances of turning a profit. A website's usability closely intersects with its internal optimization. If a website is well crafted and constantly maintained and updated, your SEO and online marketing efforts will gain a benefit. Neglecting to continuously update and maintain your website through frequent audits, redesigns where necessary, will simply not bring you the rank or position at the top that you desire in search engines like Google. So now let's talk about the best ways to actually improve your website's usability. Now, though the internet may offer you a plethora of ways in which you could increase the overall user experience of your company's website, the task is actually much more difficult than it may seem. However, when analyzing the question at hand, some general trends do indeed emerge. So firstly, we need to take a look at modern design trends. Nowadays, modern companies employ a minimalistic design scheme on their site so that the prominent information really stands out, while unimportant information is entirely absent. It's unnecessary. This allows the customer to find what they want with ease and also allows for the greater chance of them finding the information that you want them to see. For instance, if you're, let's say, an online marketing company in Philadelphia, and you want your customers to find your contact information with ease, a minimalist design scheme allows for them to easily navigate the site because you've highlighted what's important and eliminated what is not. Not to mention, most internet users nowadays have an almost subconscious intuition that tells them whether or not a site is modern or outdated, simply from the way the design impacts them and makes them feel. Now, secondly, you need to constantly monitor and stay up to date with the modern trends of site construction. Now, what this means is that you can't just develop on what you think people are going to want to see and what your competition is doing, but also what the big players in the game are doing. The ones that are spending millions and millions of dollars on research and analysis and that work every day to constantly test and employ new tactics that improve site usability and visitor satisfaction. By watching these companies and their sites, you can gain valuable insight that will give you an edge over your competition. More often than not, this will give you a boost in terms of search engine optimization as well. Thirdly, walk a mile in your user's shoes. Better yet, make it 10. Think of how they might perceive your site if they're visiting it for the first time. Large buttons, obscure fonts, obvious clues and hints, menu after menu after menu, curve linking, banal simple design or its opposite. and excessive congestion of the site with tons of silly little additions or unneeded features are all signs that a site has a poor design and reflects negatively on the user's perception of the company itself, of your company. Your end users are not fools, and you need to respect them and their opinions. After all, it's up to them as to whether or not your wallet is full or empty. In order to listen to your users' feedback, you must ensure that there's an open channel of communication between you and your internet users. The easiest way to do this is through a discussion forum. Take what users have to say with serious consideration and apply their advice where you see fit. This is an easy and effective way to boost site rank, improve SEO results, and increase the overall user experience. Now, finally, we've all heard of the army of quality raters or assessors available on most search engines in high abundance. These quality raters scan top websites in a given set of parameters and spit out a checklist of the most common features that all these sites have in common that make them so successful. Learn from these lists. The ideal version of this piece of advice is to be featured on them. Reaching the top position in many competitive areas means that you are now ideal to which the ideal, which others will want to confirm. You want to be leading the pack. So, what are some common signs of good website usability? Well, meaningful ease of use, excellent design, a common sense layout, both in code and design, based on the preference of your users, of course. Preliminary site content based on importance, okay? You need to be able to go into the website with a hierarchy of what is most important and what is not, and then place them on the site accordingly, which also works for the final point, which is a visual hierarchy of website content. There are literally thousands of books that have been written on the topic of website usability. There are also plenty of relatively decent analytical tools that you can use to run an analysis of your site's user experience as well. We here at Direct Line Development, one of the best web design and search engine optimization companies in Philadelphia, can conduct a user experience analysis on your page absolutely free. Just write to us in the comments section below or call our office. So let's think about this. How most users are going to evaluate the site's user experience. So websites, just like people, only get one chance at a first impression. Although, when meeting people, we'll form our opinions after a minute or two, websites are judged and labeled within 1 to 2 seconds after the user initially enters the website. Thus, it is the user experience that carries the heaviest weight on a visitor's likelihood of staying or bouncing off of the site. As you may recall from previous videos, a high bounce rate has an adverse effect on SEO and could drastically lower your position and rank within Google's search result listings. If a visitor comes to the site and stays there for at least 3 or 4 seconds, we can conclude that they have formed an opinion of the site that is at least passable and has a level of trust in it that ranges typically anywhere from 60 to 80%, and that's only from 3 to 4 seconds. So, I also wanted to outline a few of the main factors that affect a user's attitude towards level and confidence of a website. So, a rapid understanding of the site's theme, subject, and goals. Don't leave anything up to chance. The quality of the design and its relevance to the website itself. Okay, this goes very important to messaging and branding versus what your appearance is on the website itself. The presence of a telephone number in an easy to find area on the site. I cannot stress this enough. I don't know how many companies I talk to that have a phone number that's too small, a non-clickable object, or it's just impossible to find on the page, or just not there. Finally, the presence of a bright and understandable and competitive offer. Sales, discounts, goods offered at bargain prices, unique delivery times, whatever your offering may be. Having a compelling offer is going to be incredibly helpful for a website in the experience category. So a pivotal moment in your communication with the customer is being able to convey to him the purpose of the site almost as soon as they enter it. This is key in gaining the user's trust and upping your website's overall conversion rate. A simple way to increase the speed with which your message is conveyed to users is to have a well-articulated and clearly understood headline on the main page of your website. So next we're going to talk about how visitors actually analyze and navigate the site itself. Now, most people are conservative when visiting a website for the first time. They'll be skeptical to click anything before they first fully understand the basics of what they're looking at and what type of company they're dealing with. Thus, when we visit an unfamiliar site, we often examine it in accordance with a certain schema. So the sequence of actions between each point is normally the visitor studies the subject and content of the site. Then, the visitor looks for the product or services this company might offer. The visitor then looks for confirmation of the company's reliability. The visitor obtains and internalizes the subject product offer trust formula. It is of note that the most important parts of the diagram that you see on the screen is the intersection of the lines from 1 to 2 and 3 to 4. So we've talked about this before. What is bounce rate and how can one properly understand it? So if you've ever used Google Analytics, you've probably seen the category that analyzes your site's bounce rate from Google. A bounce rate, as said by Google, is a single page session on your site. In analytics, a bounce is calculated specifically as a session that triggers only a single request to the analytics server, such as when a user opens a single page on your site and then exits without triggering any other requests to the analytics server during that session. This is Google's definition. In most cases, a high bounce rate is a bad sign, with the exception of single page sites and pages serving features such as contact us or your phone number. We want users to spend as much time as possible on the site, reading the text, watching videos, asking questions, and the like. As one might expect, Google loves sites with a low bounce rate because it shows Google that your site is busy. A busy site is a useful site. As such, Google will promote it to the top of the search engine results. In order to improve your bounce metrics, you need to first understand where your traffic is coming from, okay? Then you need to further determine where the good traffic is coming from, the people who stay and browse, and where the bad traffic is coming from, the people who bounce. Now, next up is an example from Google Analytics describing the weekly behavior of visitors coming and going from our site, directlinedev.com. It would appear at first that the worst types of traffic comes from social media. But this is actually not quite the case when you take the trends of behavior into account. On social media sites, it's much more common for a user to click a link, look for a few seconds, and close it, and then continue to browse the social media platform. Okay? This is important to take into account when determining which adjustments to make to your site. The best type of traffic is that of direct users. These are the people who have purposefully typed in our URL and are heading directly to the site. They know that the site is functional and it contains the information they need. So let's bring it all together. Just as the case with most things related to search engine optimization, good site usability and quality user experience are pricey, but long-term investments in your website. You need to always remember that when you employ any SEO tactic on your website, it compounds with the other techniques already present on your page, and thus increases your overall position in Google and enhances your online marketing efforts for time to come. Okay? Just like search engine optimization, the effects of user experience are long-term. It will keep customers coming back because they understand that you are already a reliable source of information to whatever you need to fulfill. People like what they already are comfortable with, so we advise that you do not skimp out on your usability efforts. I've spoken many times in other videos which elaborate more in depth on the pitfalls of template-based websites such as WordPress or Wix, but it is worth saying again that you will simply not be able to establish a good user experience on one of these types of sites, at least not without overpaying by thousands of dollars. Your money is better spent at a major web development company whose experience in organic and top-tier results in online marketing will be worth every penny. We at Direct Line Development have vast experience when it comes to solving the most intricate and complex problems with increasing user experience levels. Our clients are based not only in Philadelphia, but from all over the country. pointing to the fact that we employ sound and true principles that are effective for user conversion and satisfaction regardless of geographic location. For those of you who watch this video to the very end, we will analyze your site's user experience levels absolutely free. Leave us a comment in the section below or give us a call. Thanks so much for joining us again for another edition of the Direct Line Development Vlog series, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.